Well, you guys, we finished the Trap and Tone Challenge with LASHAE for the month of October. And I think it was great. It was challenging. It was amazing. We are so happy with the results, and we hope that, other people will join in for the next challenge and just try it out and see how you feel. So there is another challenge happening in November, okay? So go to the site, ifyoucanmove.com. The link is down below in my description box, and sign up for the challenge. And don't forget about TLC, NutriBurst, and all of the amazing products that they have at TLC. The link is down below to where you can purchase some of those products. I've even gotten my husband into the NutriBurst. I've gotten my husband into the tea, actually, especially if he isn't feeling that great. Sometimes he might have a little stomach issue. He drinks that tea and he feels great like an hour later. So, just saying. Don't listen to me though. All right, but yeah, y'all, just wanted to give y'all an update before we started this video, but yay, we finished. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another Real Housewives of Potomac. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. So Monique filed charges against Candace, okay? And we see Robin and Wendy talking about it. They can't seem to understand why she would do that. Mind you, Candace is still fuming about it, okay? She's quite upset and decides to do some retail therapy, I guess, to get her mind off of things. Monique and Karen meet up for brunch, and Monique is feeling better now that she is counter-suing Candace. Karen says, well, this is very bittersweet for me. Ashley invited all of us to Portugal, and I know she really wanted you to come, for you guys are really friends, but the other girls didn't feel quite comfortable. And Monique is like, it was for the best. It was for the best. I'm like, well, everybody knows that the punishment for fighting is that you're gonna have to set that ass down. You're gonna be a friend to the show. You're not gonna be on some of the trips. You're not gonna be in group activities for a little while until things kind of cool off and die down, and they have not yet, okay? Monique says she's focusing on her family right now, which is understandable, in which she should, okay? Because that's where the issues really lie, and, things then exploded outward. Because there's no way you should really be letting these batches get to you to the point where we're now, with the lawsuits and beating people ass and all of that. It just should have never got to that point. But it's because she has so much already going on, I believe, behind the scenes, that sometimes you just get it off where you can, and it just so happened to be on Candace's head. And hey, there are consequences for your actions. So now there's a lawsuit. But Candace, when you sue someone, you always have to be prepared for counter-suage. Speaking of suing people, they have to talk about that, because Monique wants to know why Karen would have told her to press charges. And she was like, listen, I cannot fight. So if someone beats my ass, I am calling security, and I am definitely filing charges, okay? Which you can't be mad about. You can't be mad about. When people let you know what it is, just know. But Monique was like, but you would never come at me like that either. And that is true. Karen would never get in somebody's face and do all of that. I do believe that, the grand dame is way too old for that foolishness. Now, maybe a few years ago, she might have been kicking some ass, but right now, we're not in that space anymore. Karen says, well, me and Candace's relationship has definitely suffered because of everything that's happened. And Monique says, listen, I don't want you to feel like you have to choose between the two of us. Like, you can be neutral. I'm fine with that. But I know that Candace won't be fine with that for too long. Which she was right about that, because from what I understand, Karen and Candace have still not made peace about this whole situation. Ashley and Michael are getting ready for Ashley to go on this trip, and she is feeling nervous about leaving Dean with Michael, not because she's worried he can't take care of the baby, because Eve will be there for that. She's more worried about him cheating again, and I believe she's bullshitting, acting like she's not scared. Yeah, you are. You are worried that he's going to take another opportunity of you being out of town getting his check to go and embarrass you, and the shit end up on the blogs. Yes, PTSD from this man not knowing how to handle his shit. Like, come on. Ashley just admit it. That's the truth. Ashley talks about how she feels bad about not inviting Monique. And he says, listen, don't feel bad. She uninvited herself when she whipped Candace's ass. And I'm like, well, I I can't really say, that's a lie, because it's not. You can't put your hands on people on these shows and think that nothing is going to happen. Like, I really did think, if anything, they would just kind of give her a break from the show for a while. But the idea that the girls are like willfully trying to get her kicked off the show, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like they act like it's because she was so wrong. It's like, no, you were looking for an opportunity. Don't act like it's because she was so messed up, she doesn't deserve to be on Real Housewives of Potomac anymore. Child, please. Child, please. Y'all are just as verbally abusive as she is physical. And she's only beat somebody's ass one time. You have been verbally abusive every episode for 5 seasons. Specifically, I'm talking about Giselle. Ashley does say that she agreed to give her statement about when Candace threw the butter knife at her in order to show in court for Monique that Candace is also somebody that's out here acting ratchet and like a hood rat in these streets. The only problem with that is they weren't in the streets. Like I said many times before, they were in Candace's house. I'm here for Monique doing whatever she got to do to get herself out of this situation. But at the same time, I still feel like if I tell you to get the hell up out of my house and you don't, if I cut you after that, that's free game. I told you to leave my house. We're not in a public restaurant. We're at my house. I told you to leave. And you gonna stand in my face and tell me you not gonna leave? You should be lucky that she threw that knife at your feet, Ashley, and not your face. And I stand by that. Ashley says another reason why she is standing by her friend Monique in this situation is because Monique kept those tapes in her basement quiet when Michael was grabbing ass. Little did we know Bravo already had the footage from like a year earlier. You know what I'm saying? Or was it maybe like that first season? I can't remember. But y'all seen that video clip of Ray and Karen going around and Michael is in the background grabbing ass like a creepy ass old man that he is? We saw that. Also, Monique has kept it to herself that she knows Ashley and Michael have had an open relationship. So, there's just a lot of trust and there's a real friendship there. I've learned to accept it. Everybody else should too. Ashley's going to have Monique's back. I'm glad somebody else does, because I don't like how y'all treat Monique on this show even before the fight. Okay? And that's just how I feel about it. And that has less to do with Candace and more to do with Giselle and everybody else that loves to kiss her ass and jump on her bandwagon. So you guys, all the ladies meet up at the airport, and Wendy and Karen are seated next to one another on the plane, which tickled Karen. And then they get to beautiful Madeira, which is breathtaking. I would love to go there one day, if nothing, to just take thousands of pictures. So everyone gets there. They get to the hotels, which are beautiful, well-designed suites. And then we have to do the obligatory call your significant other reel. And then everyone meets down for dinner. At dinner, Karen is drinking milk instead of alcohol. And of course, everyone clocks that. And Ashley says that it ain't about no damn ulcer like Karen said. It's about her keeping a sharp mind so she doesn't spill any more of her tea. I said, child, I don't understand why she got to lie about it. I mean, older women do have ulcers, she might be, but I also felt like milk. What is animal milk supposed to do about an ulcer? Does that really coat your stomach, or is that like an old wives' tale that doesn't really work? I'm just saying. But either way, I wish Karen would just say, I'm not getting too tipsy tonight because I don't want to tell any of you batches any more of my business so that you can revel in it and bring it up later. Okay? Just tell the truth, girl. And then Wendy. So I know Karen and I had conversations about my degrees, but I really want to tell you guys, okay, that my parents came to this country with nothing. My dad got a job at Wendy's, and when he got a promotion, he was so grateful to this country for allowing him to make minimum wage at Wendy's that he named me Wendy. I am the American dream. I am the dream of the slave. I got my degree for all of the little black girls who needed to see another black girl in a bad wig with 4 degrees. And I'm not talking about deodorant. Karen says, listen, Wendy, I'm glad you said that. Listen, I advocate for education. Giselle pipes in and says, so why did you belittle hers? And I'm like, she didn't belittle her education. She was trying to say, you're not a medical doctor in order to speak on whatever Monique's issue is. That is how it all started. And from Giselle and all of this damn mess, it's now come about like she's questioning or belittling this girl's degrees, and she's not. Wendy says you did, okay? I got my degree for all little black girls and you was trying to be littlest, so let's just be real about it. Wendy thinks that she checked Karen. She says, I put a button on it, okay? I'm like, child, you're really coming off like an elitist who can't wait to tell everybody about your 4 degrees, but I digress. So the ladies then asked for a drink that is known out there called pucha or pocha. And then Giselle and the rest of the ladies started to just say words that sounded like punani and poom poom. And everybody thought that was really funny to say how the drink was basically a coochie name. And that translates to Giselle asking about Michael because he likes punani. I was like, wow. I was like, actually, from what we understand, no, he doesn't. Not that much, but that's not the point. Ashley says that she's back to 100% in her marriage. And Giselle says, well, that's fast. It's only been a month. And Karen says, leave Ashley alone. Ashley is going through a real situation right now. Leave her alone, Giselle. You know, this is because Giselle doesn't have everything going right in her relationship with Jamal. Okay, and that's the truth of the matter. Ashley says that they hadn't talked about a lot of issues in their relationship. And they went to therapy. They talked about things. They're in a better place. Why does it have to have a timetable on it, Giselle? She also put some of the blame on herself. I wasn't being affectionate. It's all about Dean. And I like how Robin was like, hey, won't you leave some of that responsibility for his ass? Because he's the one that actually went out here and embarrassed you. So leave some of the responsibility for him. And then Robin lets us know that when she was pregnant, Juan cheated on her. And child, I was just kind of like, the way she brushed that off, like that's not some deep, profound pain that you can't carry somebody's child without them cheating on you. But then they got the audacity to throw a tax situation in your face every day of y'all damn life. To me, Robin and Juan's relationship seems very one-sided. Ashley says, you know, well, no one is perfect. And Giselle says, you know, well, maybe some people are perfect. Maybe I'm perfect. And everybody's like, no, you're not perfect. And then Wendy starts talking about how she's a gift from God. And Candace says she's a gift from Jesus. And it's like, oh my God, we get it. Y'all are friends and y'all are blessed and highly favored. So Giselle asked if Karen talked to Ray. And she was like, yes, I did. Did you talk to Jamal? You know what I'm saying? Like asking me if I talked to my man. Bitch, did you talk to yours? Because when I get home, my man will be there. When you get home, Jamal will be in Atlanta. So, but she says yes. But he was handling some things for the church, so they couldn't talk for too long. And Karen says, you know, I really don't feel like he supports you the way you support him. He's never here with you at any of the events in Potomac. Giselle, you're always alone. You're always by yourself. Giselle says, well, I don't need a man to be up under me all the time. That's what you need, Karen. I don't need that. And he lives 8 states away. And Karen says, well, you know, it's just that you require so much from us and our men. It seems as if you would require that same thing from your own. Can you say broken? I said, child, broken. Karen says, well, is he proud of you, Giselle? And Giselle says, he's very proud of me. And Karen says, well, when a man is proud of his wife, he is with her. I was like, child, you ain't never lied. They don't even want to let you out their eyesight. They scared somebody gonna steal you from them. Giselle says he doesn't need to meet you, Karen. I mean, it's not like you sleeping with him. And she was like, oh, God, no, that's not what I'm saying, Giselle. Oh, my God. And then Robin pipes up and says, well, I mean, we all share our husbands with each other. If this is a relationship you're really happy about, why wouldn't you be sharing it with us? Giselle is pissed and shoots knives across the table through her eyes at Robin. Giselle says, I don't have a problem with Jamal being around the other ladies. Just like I don't have a problem with Juan buying rings. I was like, what does that mean? Like, why are you trying to throw shade and the shit don't connect? But she wants Robin to have her back no matter what, which means you want a yes man, which means you want somebody that is a minion and not a real friend that's going to tell you the truth. I've been saying this for the longest, but it's nice to finally see her say it herself. When they all get back to their rooms, Ashley gets a call from Eve saying that Dean is tired and Michael hasn't shown up. I guess Michael was supposed to be home for 7 and it's 7-Eleven. So she calls Michael to ask where he is and why he's running late. And I didn't even feel like she was that pressed. You know, like the questioning wasn't that serious. I understand she was worried, but it wasn't coming off with enough anger for the way he responded to her. You know, I'm not going to be molested like this. And then he hangs the phone up on her and she sits there and cries. Robin goes to Giselle's room And Giselle is mad that she took up for Karen because she's like, listen, Karen doesn't care about me and she doesn't care about Jamal. And I say it's so funny how you sit up here and talk about how you care about Karen and you care about what's going on with her and Ray, but when she say the same shit to you, you don't believe her neither. Child, she work on my nerves because she can dish it, but she can't take it. And Robin says, listen, she wasn't completely wrong, you know? And she says, I can receive that from you, but just not in front of everybody else. Next time, can you just tell them to shut up? Like, next time, can you just be my guard dog the way you're supposed to be? Like, that's what that was. So, y'all, Ashley is pumping and meditating early that morning. Candace is writing affirmations on her mirror. And Karen goes to see Ashley. And so they talk about what happened between she and Giselle. And Ashley says, child, Karen just trying to get back at Giselle for all the time she came at her over the years. I'm like, yeah, we know. And we're all fine with it. Ashley tells her that she kind of overreacted last night with Michael. And he actually called her back and apologized and said that he understands that she's worried and she's a new mother and he gets it. He apologized for the way he talked to her. And now she's feeling like, you know, yeah, I just overreacted and I'm so grateful for my husband. And none of us believe it. All of us think that in some way, shape, or form, you are going through some type of post-traumatic stress from him cheating on you the last time and all the other times. Because even though you have an open marriage, there are rules to the open marriage. So when dude starts to do things outside of that rule list, he's now cheating. And it's no different than if you didn't have an open relationship. Because he's doing things that goes against the loyalty that y'all have built in y'all's relationship, period. So at the end of the day, I want Ashley just to admit it. Just admit you're bothered. Stop acting like you don't really care about what he's doing because you do. And it is hurtful. Okay, so just admit it instead of taking all the blame on yourself and constantly making excuses for him. At the end of the day, okay, you might have been tripping about the time frame and Eve making you feel like, oh, you know, the baby's gonna fall asleep. Like, bitch, stop making Ashley worried when she don't have to be. I just kind of don't. I feel like the friend was doing a lot, and I'm also wondering, you know, if the friend would try to mess with Michael. I don't know why, but that came into my head when she called him the first time and he didn't answer the phone. But anyway, I don't like the way Michael talked to her, hung up on her, and then when she called the first time, he didn't answer, which all to me made me feel like he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, even if it was only 11 minutes past the time he was supposed to be home, or whatever time he was supposed to be home. I wouldn't trust him either, and I understand where she's coming from, and I'm just not ready to act like she was completely overreacting to somebody who is not trustworthy. Karen says, is that all? You know, is that all it is? Because last time he wasn't what he was supposed to be. And Ashley says, no, it was just a moment and we've grown and I'm grateful for my husband. And they press on from there. The ladies then go out for the day and Ashley asks everybody if they've talked to their loved ones. And Giselle says, yes, I talked to the girls and I talked to Jamal. And Karen is like, she just wants us to know that she talked to Jamal. You can talk to him all day. Will you see him is the question. Ashley lets them in on how she cried last night behind missing her baby and how she felt like she overreacted. And Wendy was like, girl, why you didn't call me? I cried too. We could have cried together. 'Cause we cry together. Oh, when I cry, you cry, we cry together. When I cry, you cry, we cry together. Shout out to Lil Mo. So the ladies ride in these little like carts over the city. It's beautiful, you guys. I mean, so picturesque and incredible. They are in groups of 3. And Giselle takes this opportunity to ask Ashley about Michael again. And I'm just kind of like, let it go. I feel like she asked them about their shit so that they won't ask her about hers. Robin, Karen, and Candace talk about it as well, about how they feel like Ashley isn't really being honest with what she's going through and how she's feeling. Once again, Wendy has to mention her degrees. It's like, let it go. Like, how many times are we going to sit through this? Even Robin was like, damn, let it go. They sit down and eat. You know, she's bringing it up again. Like we talked about it the last time we sat down to eat. What else do you want besides the apology that Karen gave you? Ashley comes back to the table with her boobs on pump because it's legal there. Okay, that's good. I'm glad. Everyone has some poocha except for Karen, who's trying to stay sharp. Giselle asks Wendy and Karen once again if they are done having their conversation from last night. And Karen says, I thought she put a button on it. I love when Karen said that. I was dying laughing. And then Wendy says, well, I'm going to unbutton it right quick. I'm like, why? Then Wendy goes into how when you talked about my degrees, when I was getting my doctorate, there were many times that I wanted to quit. Robin says, I would have. Robin's immature ass commentary during this scene is why she got an umbrella to her neck that night that, that her and Monique got into it. But also, it is hilarious in this setting because if we hear about this one more damn time, okay? And she tells Karen that if she were to read her 270-page dissertation, the first 10 pages were about her family. Okay, and she had her 2 kids and her father passed away. Just all the things that she went through while she was accomplishing her 4 degrees. And listen, we get it. It is a great accomplishment. I don't think anybody's questioning that. I think we're saying that you have 4 degrees. That's great. What else is going on? That's what we're saying. Candace brings up Giselle and Karen's conversation. And Karen says that she was just trying to tell Giselle to be careful. And Giselle says, well, it didn't come off that way. All right. You have been very secretive about your situation with Ray. And she was like, well, why would I tell my business to the devil? And everybody's like, oh, she called her the devil. I'm like, well, I mean, how many times is somebody going to call her the devil in order for her to realize that she is, in fact, a child of the devil? So Giselle decides that she's going to call Jamal on FaceTime to shut all of this down. And that doesn't prove anything to me or Karen because he's always in your phone, bitch. When is he going to be in your real life? That's what we want to know. When is he going to show up in real life for you in this setting on this show the way all of our men do and the way you require of them? Because if they weren't, you'd be asking where they were. So we're asking, where's your man? And if you're not going to be a part of this group and share your man like everybody else, then get out of the group. Karen said, never no more. We ain't dealing with this shit from you. No more, bitch. All in our Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor and don't want to pour a glass of your own tea. Karen says, we can be superficial friends, Giselle. I won't give you shit because you don't give shit, and that's shit. Child, when Candace laughed about Karen saying that Jamal lived in her phone, I could have passed out. I'm gonna tell y'all, I was glad we didn't have to hear about Monique and Candace's episode. I was so grateful. I swear to God. I know that some of y'all might have thought filler, boring. I thought relief. I'm so tired. Okay? But anyway, y'all, that was Real Housewives of Potomac. I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all didn't, I'm sure y'all will tell me about it and dislike the video. But then y'all will be back again next week. So I love y'all. I'll see y'all then.